Thank you, Kim. Many continue to call for Senator Nicholas Kettle to resign as he faces criminal charges for extortion and video voyeurism. As we first told you yesterday, a secret grand jury indictment was unsealed, alleging Kettle used threats to try and coerce a former Senate page to engage in sexual acts. Tonight, we're hearing from his fellow lawmakers on the charges against him. Eyewitness News reporter Steph Machado joins us now live in studio. What they had to say. Steph?
Mike, the Senate is on vacation this week, but it hasn't stopped the pressure coming from both Democrats and Republicans for Senator Kettle to resign his seat.
I will vote to expel.
Democratic Senator Jim Seveny from Portsmouth, one of many senators, telling Eyewitness News they will vote yes if the Senate moves forward with a vote to expel Senator Nicholas Kettle, who has now been charged in 2 criminal cases, one for alleged video voyeurism involving an ex-girlfriend, and another where a grand jury says Kettle allegedly extorted a student page working at the State House in an attempt to have sex with him.
It's beyond the pale. It's just not to be tolerated.
The Senate President, Dominic Ruggiero, and Minority Leader Dennis Algier are also calling on Kettle to resign his seat. As a Republican representing Coventry, the Republican committee in that town is also planning to remove him from their membership. Coventry Republican State Rep Bobby Nardolillo said, "As a representative of Coventry and a constituent of the senator, I am deeply disappointed. I feel strongly it's in the best interest of Senate District 21 for Mr. Kettle to resign his position." Democratic Senator Gail Golden telling Eyewitness News, "I am furious that Senator Kettle has not already resigned. If he does not do so, I will certainly vote in favor of his expulsion."
He has every right to defend himself and get his day in court and all that. While he's doing that, I don't believe he can represent adequately anybody.
And Senator Kettle has declined to comment on whether he will resign over these allegations. He has denied the charges. The Senate is away this week, but could vote to expel as early as next week. So we asked every senator how they would vote. So far, 19 tell us they would vote yes to expel. 1 is undecided. No senators have told us they will vote no, but 16 senators have not yet responded to our inquiries. Coming up new at 6, new concerns from the ACLU about the process to expel a senator, what the civil rights group is saying to lawmakers tonight. I'm Steph Machado, Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Eric. A follow-up now to the charges against State Senator Nicholas Kettle.
Calls are growing for him to either resign or be removed from office. We've been tracking the investigation into Kettle for weeks now, which led to his arrest last Friday on charges of extortion and video voyeurism.
But tonight, the ACLU is pushing back against calls to remove Nick Kettle from the Senate if he doesn't leave voluntarily.
Eyewitness News reporter Steph Machado explains live in studio. Steph?
The state librarian tells me her team has found no instance of anyone ever being expelled from the House or Senate in Rhode Island, but the Constitution says it can be done with a 2/3 majority vote.
I will vote to expel.
Senator Jim Seveny in the majority of senators who tell Eyewitness News they will vote to expel Senator Nicholas Kettle if he does not resign his seat amid criminal charges of video voyeurism and extortion.
It's beyond the pale. It's just not to be tolerated.
A grand jury accusing Kettle of extorting a student page working for the Senate in an attempt to have sex with him. Senate President Dominic Ruggiero says if Kettle doesn't resign, the Senate will hold a vote to expel him as allowed by the state constitution with a 2/3 majority vote.
You know, we're talking about removing a person from an office they were democratically elected to.
The executive director of the ACLU of Rhode Island, Stephen Brown, has now sent a letter to senators urging them to take it slow.
There just needs to be a lot of consideration given to this rather than just sort of acting, having a knee-jerk reaction that these charges are awful, we need to remove this person.
He says since the expulsion article has never been used before, the Senate should first adopt a set of rules so the process isn't abused in the future.
You know, there may be a very principled reason why the Senate is acting now to try to initiate these expulsion proceedings, but if you don't have standards in place ahead of time, the door is open for all sorts of mischief down the road.
And senators return from vacation next week. We have reached out to all of them to ask how they would vote if an expulsion vote is held. So far, 19 senators tell us they would vote yes to expel. That includes Democrats and some Republicans. 1 senator is undecided. No senators have told us they would vote no, but 16 senators have not responded to our inquiries. Senator Kettle has not said if he will resign. He does deny the charges against him. I'm Steph Machado, Eyewitness News.